It has been a month.
Can you believe, guys, not only has it been a month since we last did this, but also we are on the verge of the 5-year anniversary, not just of us, but of All Elite Wrestling. But that being said, we had WWE
We're the
Backlash. We
best
had Patrick.
wrestle.
Damn it. We have Capital Kiyomiya, now the new GHC heavyweight champion. Ryo Oiwa turned his back on him. Miracle has officially come into existence, and Julia's injured. NXT Underground will take place in the Fight Capital World in the UFC Apex. AEW is taking a different strategy approach towards AEW All In. And New Japan Pro Wrestling is trying to figure this stuff out. The Best Super Juniors is occurring right now as we speak, and WWE is bringing back King and Clear the Ring. Why do I talk about so many of these other things, including believing in Joe Hendry and TNA right now trying to force the way to against all odds? The system now is full power because I am a simple man and a lifelong member of this family and fan of all things wrestling. Damn it! And I'm back to do this shit again because why the fuck not? Because you know what that means. It is once again that time to discuss, predict, and analyze in our main event another AEW pay-per-view. Before all that, we talk about, once again, all things wrestling too. For we are ATW. Hello to those that watch this, whether you choose to. I thank you again for taking us into your feeds and your screens and our madness and festivities and our conversations and the, I'm sure, subtle, bitter rivalries and polarized predicting will occur. Welcome once again to the AEW Impromptu as we are doing this now. I think it's episode 67, guys. Can't believe we've been doing this for this long since Revolution 2021. Ain't that some crazy shit? But once again, back, it's once again I, the Simple Man, the Simple Brand, the voice, the JMN, forever great professional wrestling, damn it, and the Simple Man of ATW. My name is Noel Foster. With me as always, my all-the bear since days here, the KING, King Anthony, King A Train. And once again, back, he is the OG, our enforcer. It is Lex. Gentlemen, it's good to see you once again. Here we stand. We just got through the go home of AEW Dynamite for Double Another Week has officially kicked off. As of course, we are recording this 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday night, May the 22nd. And again, a lot's gone down the last month, and a lot of shit's about to come ahead this Sunday at Double or Nothing. Before we get into all the festivities, the conversations, the other banter, I'm sure that will continue to ensue. Anthony, I'll start with you as always. How are you, man?
As we coming off the go watch along from the go home show of Dynamite, I am feeling ecstatic. I am pumped. I'm ready for Sunday for Double or Nothing. Let's do this.
Yeah, simple enough. And again, man, long time no see. Last time we saw you, you called Impromptu out of nowhere. But again, this is our mental escape. We truly love, appreciate, and are passionate about all things wrestling. Domestically, internationally, small game, big game, little game, trying to be a game, you name it. We are passionate about it because we love wrestling. Just enjoy wrestling. All the 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 professional wrestling. Damn it. Anyway, let's get to see what you've been up to, man. Been a while.
Yeah, I've been back in school. I recently taking German classes.
Okay, I heard the school bit. Your mic's coming in like a little like echo
I've
bubble.
been I've been taking recently German classes.
German classes? Like
German classes?
learning the English or the language?
The language, the German language.
Got it, got
Oh,
it, got it.
nice.
I mean, it never hurts to be multilingual.
Because possibly I might be stationed next year in Europe.
Nice. Well, again, your ventures outside Mission Martial Arts, of course, also involve video game development. So good on you. Of course, I'm super excited for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, of course, be taking place during the time of.
But I'm also excited for Ghost of Tsushima on PC.
Well, again, PC Master Race, I get it, but I'm no longer part of that because I'm a conservative, simple man. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is still one of my favorite games of all time on PS5. King, what you been playing lately? Or what you hype up for in video games? This is the random
Video.
conversation bit, folks.
This is what we do.
There you
The game I've been looking forward to the most is ever since the announcement is EA Sports College Football 25. It's been 11 years since we had a college football game in the sports realm with football 14 for the Xbox 360 and PS3. So I'm looking forward to EA's College Football 25 playing NCAA football once again.
You're getting tongue-tied there. That's fair. I've been playing like Rayman Rabbit Sparks of Hope, the DLCs. I need to play the Phantom one. I still need to get Mario Wonder. And then I just got done playing I played Assassin's Creed Valhalla because I finally played the third DLC, Ragnarok. I forgot there was one. A very fun bit of gaming. And then just been taking it easy. I finally beat Balatro! That roguelike poker freaking nonsense! That was ridiculous! Damn it! Anyway.
Also, I'm gonna play the DLC of Elden Ring.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my. You going to step back into that game?
Are you crazy?
Yes, I'm stepping back to the Souls games again.
I don't understand people that literally put themselves through that punishment of a Dark Souls-esque campaign to try to figure out the best way to beat these bosses over and over again to finally do it, only to face a boss even tougher later. It's not like these are the type of games you could soup up your character to the ultimate max level, and then the final boss is not that hard. Although Horizon Forbidden West, that final boss was fucking nightmare.
That depends on your skills in the game. So that depends on the difficulty nowadays.
Well, first off, I'm gonna put every game out of the bus. If you play easy, you're a pussy. I rarely play normal or hard or legend.
No, I play on the most difficult one, the one that would challenge you, the super hard ones.
Right. I've only done one game under New Game Plus, and that was Horizon, the first one, Zero Dawn. But since then, I don't have that time or that patience to dedicate myself towards a super hard campaign following my initial play. Now, starting super hard campaign for the first time, I've done that once or twice before, but I haven't dive into a game like that has encouraged me to pursue such an avenue. So,
Speaking of what do you call this, mixed martial arts and pro wrestling, have you heard about have you seen the picture of The Rock playing the Smashing Machine Marker?
Yeah, he is unrecognizable.
Unrecognizable, a totally different person.
Who is that? That's Dwayne Johnson? What?
Speaking of Marker, he is from Noah's hometown.
Hey, right here, Toledo, Ohio. Represent. There you go. All right.
Nice.
Again, it's a small world after all, and I'm not making a Disney reference, but that does make me think about one thing that we did subtly talk about during Open Mind Night when it comes to the whole streaming conglomeration aspects of monopolies. But we won't dive that much into that here because we really don't know what that's going to mean when it comes to AEW, because we don't know what AEW is going to do at this point. But we know AEW is trying to do some different stuff. So before we get into our main event, now that we got the cold opener or the icebreaker talk out of the way, whatever you want to call it, gentlemen, let's get right into it. Let's talk some wrestling. Shout out again to the entire AEW family, including not limited to our friend, our queen, who continues to succeed and grow across the pond, Megan Chiba at KM Mary J, who cheers to prove that J is worth more than gold. Cheers to you, my friend, always in your continued wrestling adventures in and out of the ring. Don't be a stranger. You know we love and support you from We Are ATW. Our preacher man, Casey Flanders, been very bold about Dakota Kai, Ashley. And, of course, God bless him and his mentality. We, of course, have our Inquirer, the bearer of all things news, and the chaos sometimes to my freaking sanity, Eric Brown. And please follow him into the Wrestleverse. Yeah, y'all curse that shit, too. We'll follow him into the Wrestleverse, of course. And, of course, seeing her continued social media rising as quite a proud, proficient, self-made, passionate, creative titan and their main correspondent. So kudos to her. Shout out to the entire W family.
Kudos to her, because he got recognized by Joe Henry.
Yeah, she did. She got recognized by Joe Hendry, which, again, if you don't believe, you're in the wrong family. We believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right. I know how King feels. It's okay. We're going to have our arguments anyway. But yeah, and again, to the entire family, a reason credit to our party man, JD Ultra. Again, I could talk about the whole family all night, but this podcast will go longer than I need to, and I don't have the lexicon in front of me. Although it's probably still more over than the learning tray. Anyway. So we've been removed now for a month since we've talked about all things wrestling. Since then, we've had TNA under siege, where now the freaking system is at full power. We also, of course, had changes in pro wrestling. Noah as of late, Kata Kiyomiya once again, GHC champion. We also had John Moxley, of course, win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship at Resurgence, suspended successfully against Shota Umino. We also, of course, had arguably the greatest crowd in WWE history. Let's just call it this. Backlash, where Backlash felt like a real WrestleMania once again. And I think France outdid Puerto Rico, if I'm being perfectly honest. So that being said, before we talk about AEW, let's go ahead and just talk about this last month in all things wrestling. Maybe some solid highlights or thoughts or some takeaways since we've been removed from Dynasty. Lex, again, it's been a while. I'll start with you. Have you kept up with all things wrestling, anything wrestling lately, man? Or what's been your thoughts on this last month in the wrestling industry?
It's a whirlwind of a lot of content from wrestling, and honestly, there's a lot to catch up and a lot to process. But one thing that caught my eye recently is wait, hold on.
I got you. Dot. Loading.
It's that Kano versus Suzuki recently.
Yeah, about to say, and Keno wearing a Minoru Suzuki shirt. Does the man have a death wish? Of course, Minoru Suzuki also has roots in pro wrestling, Noah, as we know. So that
Also,
was
the recent debut of Marigold.
Yeah, this new promotion now ran by Rosie Ogawa. Take it for what you will when it comes to that guy, but you still can't not deny that incredible talent. And I think so far they had a very good initial show, and of course, in all places, Corrigan Hall. Of course, they're also coming off that show from May 4th where they collided with Pro Wrestling Noah's women's division, which of course will be involved in 6-woman tag team action, most recently on their latest Noah show as Monday Magic continues to evolve and bring forward the women's division in Pro Wrestling Noah. So yeah, good stuff. We'll talk more about Julia here particularly in a moment because I know we have an update regarding her, and maybe we'll also have a small conversation about what's becoming a bug in 2024 that needs to get the hell squashed. But anyway, good stuff, Lex. King, what about you? Again, man, we look at all things wrestling. What's been your takeaway this last month in the industry or in the business or from a company or just from somebody?
Yes. Oh, Broken One is back in TNA wrestling. Matt Hardy. Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
Fair enough.
Oh, how I've missed the broken gimmick, especially in TNA. It just fits so perfectly.
We're gonna get another cinematic match for that in TNA again.
No.
Yes, we do. No, I agree with Lexon. We need another cinematic match with Matt Hardy.
Pro wrestling cinema is back.
Oh, God. We're going to go back to the Hardy compound with all the fireworks imaginable and Skid's got the dilapidated boat and freaking Senior Benjamin.
Senor Benjamin and King Maxwell and Wolfgang.
And Queen Reby. Oh, Lord. Hey, some things never change. Although I am a huge fan of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. Yeah. All right, that's fair. I mean, for me, of course, Tam Nakano recently faced with the 9 Guild for the TBS Championship, which was very unique to see as Stardom continues to rebuild themselves around this golden generation. It seems like Starlight Kid, as communicated from Laredo Tai, is doing things on her own for the time being. Hasn't joined a new faction yet.
The newest member of Oedo Tai, Tekla.
Idol Killer. Whoa. Talk about
she's back to her debut color hair, blonde. She's back to blonde again.
Yeah, I noticed that.
She is.
She now might be the most lethal force in Oedo Tai, for being perfectly honest here. It looks like she's
going to be the most lethal gaijin of the day.
All right. Well, sorry, Bea Priestley. Of course, now she wants to take out all the aisles, starting with Mina Shirakawa, which does make me wonder, could that lead to some Forbidden Door implications? Again, we really don't know. But yeah, again, changes in the Stardom landscape, changes in the pro wrestling landscape. Of course, Marigold had their arrival show. And out the gate, let's just go ahead and segue into our first thing. But I also will talk more about ATW stuff after this first topic. Guys, what's going on with the injuries as of late? Seriously, Rhea Ripley, Eddie Kingston, Julia, Francisco Akira. It's starting to get a little bit widespread like wildfire at this point. What's happening as of late?
Maybe the wrestling gods have had enough. I don't know.
I mean that's accurate because look what happened during the first Forbidden Door when we had when we projected all these wrestlers to be at this event, and then they made up for what they can because of all the injuries that was suffered in both companies. Or go back to WrestleMania 32, the night before with all those injuries, the season before with all those injuries, and now all of a sudden, right before a big event, the injury bug has graced its presence once more, and I hate it.
Eddie Kingston's going to be out at least till January.
January 2025 at the early prediction.
Allegedly. And then, of course, we have Ripley out indefinitely. We have Julia, who just started her Marigold campaign. Break her damn wrist. Incredible match, by the way. But again, now we don't know when she's going to be back. Maybe she can do like Jennifer DMD and still somehow find a way to compete. I don't know. And then, of course, right now, Bryan Danielson, he's due for surgery soon, but he's at his final count in his career. So does it get halted impromptu as much as we don't want
We
to
got
see
5 months. We got 5 months worth of
but can he
Bryan
handle that?
Danielson.
Can Bryan Danielson handle that? Again, how far can the human body go? We have to consider that. Francisco Akira is officially out of the Best Super Juniors, it seems, because he's injured. Damn it. So it just feels like right now this is a continuation of things that occur. We, of course, had injuries during the King and the Queen of the Ring tournament, which we'll talk about here in a moment. And it's just one of those things where right now we really need to consider where people stand and try and find some sort of balance or mediation. Julia Hart, of course, out injured indefinitely right now while she's rebuilding, but she's been nowhere to be seen in this House of Black campaign against Adam Copeland. So I just don't want any more injuries to happen to those that are really important. There was speculation up in the air when it came to Cody Rhodes and Carmelo Hayes poses it, but we saw how he hung with AJ Styles. What an incredible match, by the way. Talk about trial by fire, proving your worth as a champion. Man, and AJ's still phenomenal. Pun intended. So I just want this injury bug thing to just cease, and maybe some places they do need to take a step back. But then again, this Sunday we got Anarchy in the arena with 8 of the most crazy men in the business. So I don't think nothing's going to be pulled off the gas pedal. So
This is going to hit the fan in Vegas.
accurate. What?
You know, expect a lot from Darby this match.
Darby almost. Well, I mean, again, Darby literally
Let's
came
see,
back.
fractured ankle. Got hit by a bus. Still recovering from Revolution.
Broke his nose.
Broken nose.
Oh my God.
It's like he's a walking medical skeleton, and yet he still wants to fight for AEW.
And he's back with Tony Khan and a flamethrower in hand. And if I didn't know any better, Tony Khan wants somebody fired. Someone's getting fired. Someone's getting fired. Maybe. That being said, all right. So, yeah, this injury thing has to stop. Okay, let's go ahead and slowly talk about King and Queen of the Ring before we get to what AEW is doing, because as we know, the King and Queen of the Ring is back. And what I can appreciate about WWE is that they actually host a tournament on both sides for both men and women. It's been a very fair, balanced field, very capable competitors, including the inaugural Queen and a former King or two. And there have been some very compelling matches. I would argue to say as of late, Monday Night Raw is going to be more better wrestling matches than SmackDown has. I mean, you look at what we have. We had Ilya Dragunov versus Ricochet. Damn. We had Gunther versus Sheamus Revisited. Jey Uso versus Ilya Dragunov and versus Gunther. Gunther being the strongest of our competitors this entire tournament field, being perfectly honest, for the men's side. And that's on Raw side, by the way, as they did brands for brands here. We, of course, on the SmackDown side had Carmelo Hayes. We had L.A. Knight. We had the Bloodline. And how do we not even talk about this? Let me just go ahead and say this statement because I still can't believe it's real. G-O-fucking-D is in WWE. Let that sink in for a moment. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, both of which were involved, I believe, in.
Hey, we gotta run it back. We gotta run it back with God versus Good Brothers.
Yeah, you know what? The problem with the Good Brothers right now, they're in the
NXT.
So, again, not too far out of the realm of possibility, if we're being honest here. But it is also another one of those things where I look at everything going on right now and it's just crazy. And the King right now feels pretty much defined by it's got to be Gunther. As far as the Queen go, got thoughts. Lyra Valkyrie, the incredible rise that she has beaten now Io Sky on her way to the finals for Raw, heavily endorsing her as a top single star, hoping that actually becomes a thing. And then on the SmackDown side, a bit muddled. Jade Cargill got disqualified by Nia Jax. Bianca Belair moved forward against Tiffany Stratton, so it looks like they're not going to do Jade versus Bianca as I expected. It looks like right now it's going to come down to possibly Nia and Lyra. And then on the men's side, you got Gunther versus either Randy Orton or I believe Tama Tonga. And if I know a thing or two about face heel dynamic, I think the Viper is going to be on the other side of the Ding General. So it almost feels like to me that the King and Queen's going to be Gunther and Nia. But I really hope it's Lyra. So
That's what I'm hoping it's Lyra too instead of Nia. Why does Nia need it for? Honestly.
I mean, they gotta give Nia something to do. She's not gonna be part of the bloodline or be involved in a championship. So there you go. After all, got that last name power. That being said, King, what's been your thoughts on the King and Queen of the Ring tournament so far? How you think they've been handled, showcased? Which side's been stronger? Do you have declare like winners? What's been your take on Triple H's King and Queen of the Ring tournaments in the new era?
Triple H's handling of this tournament has been on the Monday Night Raw side. On the Monday Night Raw side, I feel like I'm watching Dynamite when it comes to these wrestling matches. I feel like that. I feel like that atmosphere because on the SmackDown side, it's just you get your stuff together. SmackDown, like Raw is continuing to prove why they are the flagship show. I'm more intrigued by watching matches of the King and the Queen of the Ring on Raw than I am on SmackDown, especially with Ilya Dragunov and Ricochet, Gunther and Jey Uso, Gunther and Sheamus, and all that. I'm more intrigued by watching those matches on Raw than I am on SmackDown. When I watch the highlights on SmackDown, I'm just like, cool, yay, bloodline stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, again, Bloodline dominates SmackDown. SmackDown is the Bloodline show, and everyone else plays pretty much second fiddle unless you're Cody Rhodes, who's trying to be the face of the WWE and doing a great job, but he's too damn good as a baby face, and that almost might be his deficit because there's a point where a baby face reaches that peak where the people could turn on you. Hello, AEW. So I hope that doesn't happen, considering how over Cody is. But to go as far as a babyface he is as the Undisputed WWE Champion versus what Roman was as the Tribal Chief and the Undisputed WWE Universal Champion, not nearly as long is going to happen, but he's going to need a lot of depth to really keep this thing sustainable in the people's eyes, more than just for himself, in my opinion. And Logan Paul is just an impulsive roadblock at the Saudi Arabia house show, if we're being perfectly honest.
I see what you did with the wordplay there. I see what you did there.
Yeah,
Impulsive.
Logan Paul, WWE champion. Give me a fucking break. Anyway, yeah, Cody ain't losing that. That's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. Cody ain't losing that. Get real. It'd be the dumbest mistake in WWE history. Logan Paul beating Cody for the WWE Championship. What the fuck are you thinking? Anyway, but yeah, and Braun Breaker breaking people in half. I kind of like that because I do like violence. But yeah, I think honestly, this is some of the best handling I've seen for King and Queen of the Ring. But yeah, more so I've been invested in the Raw side than I have been in the SmackDown side on both fronts. And I'm really holding out that Raw owns both crowns. I hope that Lyra and Gunther both win. I truly do. And Gunther will definitely make sure that WWE remains or becomes sacred. As Chad Gable's continued heel turn finally is starting to become Kurt Angle-esque with them saying you suck during his music. And maybe the Alpha Academy becomes the world greatest tag team 2.0 with the Creed brothers instead of Akira and Maxine. And I think Otis is about to become big babyface once again after he turns on Chad Gable, which does make me wonder if Ivy Nile will join the new Alpha Academy and maybe we give her some direction. Of course, we know Ivy Nile was recently involved in NXT. As, of course, let's go ahead and switch gears. Talk about this. We talk about fighting. We talk about wrestling. NXT is going to the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, and the UFC Apex, is showing NXT Battleground. I cannot believe when this announcement was made. Now, this is huge for WWE on multiple fronts, in my opinion, because ever since the merger with TKO, UFC, WWE, we're talking about the mecca of mixed martial arts, with the mecca now no longer defined by those two words, thank Christ, professional wrestling. It's the greatest big stage for it. I won't say it's the greatest showcase because it still has its flaws, and we'll talk more about that in a moment, but this is huge. We know so far they're going to crown the first ever NXT Women's North American Champion, and the qualifiers have been underway. Last Legend, Fallon Henry, and the person from GTA Ripoff qualified. And
Jana Parker.
Yeah, that person, whatever. And then, I don't care about her. And then, of course, we know now two legitimate MMA badasses are going underground at Battleground. Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice. I've got to be honest here. I'm intrigued by this, but I do wonder, looking at the setting of the building and the staging, changing the octagon for a four-sided ring. I almost want them to do the octagon for the underground match without the ropes and the cage bars and just let these two women go hammer on each other. I'm just saying. But what was your thoughts when you heard this announcement, King? And do you think that this NXT showcase could hold up what UFC represents in that building?
Especially with Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice of their MMA backgrounds, I do expect it to hold up. I mean, you're in the UFC Apex, the fight capital of the world in Las Vegas, and of course, with both of them no strangers of being MMA backgrounds for one another, I expect them to hold up on to the end of the bargain of making this, what it is, and showcase that MMA background in the NXT battleground. I mean, underground match, because it's the UFC Apex, and both of these women are MMA disciplined.
I'm just curious, though. It's one of those things where I haven't seen Shayna Baszler with this type of fire and hunger and excitement in her and WWE in a long damn fucking.
It's been a while, and I'm glad the fire has been reignited for Shayna Baszler.
Oh, without doubt. Lex, what's your thoughts on this as an MMA type guy? Like, if you were given a tail of the tape, I don't know if you follow NXT lately, but Lola Vice, former UFC MMA combatant, Shayna Baszler, defined in the underground, born there, literally smashed Masha back home at GCW Bloodsport, and Shayna Baszler going back to her roots now to the underground and NXT against a former UFC fighter. What's your thoughts on this? And your thoughts on NXT?
My thoughts is going to be a great fight because it's an MMA rules match, and for me, the edge will go to Shayna because she's more experienced and she has been in the UFC and she's been the four horsewomen, and yeah. Lola Vice will do her best, but she will get cocky at the end. Shayna will still get the edge.
You think she's gonna put her to sleep? Because we know Shayna's more of a submission space, but Lola Vice, she is a fierce striker. We've seen her knock people out with that freaking high kick, which I guess technically you can't really use. But this is NXT Underground, so while you think this is an MMA focused match, there are still some wrestling allowances, and a high kick to the head might be all it needs to knock Shayna Baszler down. Although Shayna did get up and nearly choked her out with the carrot for the clutch, so he may be right. But I gotta admit, these NXT PLEs have definitely got more excited for me under the reign, pun intended, of Ava Raine, who's done a great job in defining again the second best women's landscape. Of being honest here, when it comes to booking and it comes to showcasing, AEW's got the potential. They gotta book it better. Simple as that. And TNA is still the leader forever since 2007. With the knockouts being the alternative. Curious what Rosemary's doing now that she's lost everything. But anyway, different conversation. But yeah, I'm super curious about this show, and I almost wonder if this will become more of a constant, and will we see more of this crossover with UFC, MMA type showcasing in the WWE from this? Like, could we get maybe another fight pit back, and maybe Maranello calls it? Like, could we get Maranello maybe to call actually NXT at the UFC? Just for old time's sake, just.
I mean, Dana White has mentioned it in his press conference. I know the last press conference that I forgot what UFC fight weekend he held it. He was talking about saying that he wants his UFC stars to, join up with WWE because he's heard interest from Montez Ford. Montez Ford wants to step into the octagon. Derek Lewis has thought about jumping over to the other side to basically get a match in WWE. He said we're going to expect more of that.
Well, again,
and in talks with now that the old man is not empowered.
Right. Then redacted for reasons.
So we're going to expect that from the years to come.
Yeah, it's just a unique situation, I think, though, when you really look at what WWE is becoming underneath this partnership, collaboration permanently. It feels like now with how much money's been put into it under TKO when it comes to UFC and WWE under the same umbrella, and then you got people from both sides trying to really define each environment in a way, if not transfer hub people. So it's a very weird circumstance, but I kind of find it exciting. I'm kind of for it. So there you go. All right, well, let's go ahead and switch gears now to AEW and talk about, before we talk about our main event, let's talk a little bit further down the line and see what they maybe might be doing. We don't know what the future of AEW holds in store. We always say that, but every pay-per-view in a way helps try to shape it. But there's that pay-per-view every year, I think, that defines it or resets it. It doesn't get more of a reason than what we get this Sunday. But as we move forward, is WWE the biggest show, or is the biggest show across the pond, where last year they held the biggest event in wrestling history? And we once again go all in, but this time they're taking a different approach to hype it up, a pathway to all in what's called a summer series, focused strictly on Saturday nights, primarily with Collision, with the exception of a Thursday, and the fact we got Ring of Honor for Dishonor. And again, that'll be a whole different conversation here in a moment. I am curious to wonder if they're going to do something like this, transfer hub to centralize booking forward a pay-per-view while still maintaining a constant approach on one of their stages in AEW? Or is it more of a money-saving grab? Because this is a smaller venue, as we talk about Open Mic Night. You can go check out Open Mic Night, folks, if you want. Hosted by the Renegade J.J. Williams, by the way, every Saturday night, 11 p.m. Standard Time. He always does a great job during our Madness shenanigans. But when you saw this, King, you were the first to share this. Of course, we saw last year the Path All In. It was just, straightforward. They just constantly did the usual thing, and we were across the pond. With the fact we don't really know necessarily what's going to happen during All In week, even, where we could possibly have a Dynamite or a Rampage, God forbid, in the freaking UK. I mentioned the O2 Arena when Impact Wrestling used to do that.
I mean, the crowds are going to be great in the UK.
Yeah, it's a passionate fan base. It's like the most passionate fan base in the world besides Japan. But that being said, I'll start with King on this one because he's the all-elite bruv. What was your thoughts when this announcement was made? Do you think this is going to be something that's going to be taken more consideration on a quarterly basis? Or do you think this is a new approach to maybe think about smaller venue booking, particularly for Collision, which doesn't get nearly as much traffic as Dynamite and Rampage?
When I first heard this announcement, two things came to mind. One, it's about time, Tony, that you brought AEW to Arlington instead of the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area in Garland, which, no offense, Garland. I love y'all, respect y'all, but it's time for Arlington to get one. Second of all, this was a very unique approach, in my opinion, because this is the first ever in AEW that they've ever took this path of booking the same, how shall I put this, same stadium, but within like the late July into August to get us ready for All In. And it's only been Collision and Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor, which, like, when I first saw that, I was like, no Dynamite, no Rampage, just Collision. I mean, it's fair because really, Dynamite, like you said on the watch along, Dynamite and Rampage have been more of the, travel shows, and Collision has just been, the wrestling show where it's like mainstay, don't get as much travel as much as a Dynamite or a Rampage. So when I first seen this, I was like, okay, unique approach. I'm willing to see where this goes because I'm going to be at one of them, not all of them. You crazy? I'm going to be at one of them. So it's going to be very interesting, and I hope it works out for AEW's sake because this is, you called it the Path to All In Summer Series. So I'm hoping that path is a straight path to when we get to the when we get to Wembley.
It's one of those things also, though, you guys say, like you said, between each week, there's going to be a Dynamite Rampage probably in a different city. Can they sustain that same audience in that same venue with that same level of excitement and investment? Or could they see a trend in the numbers drop for the live attendance if they think the material is a bit too repetitive, whether it's the same type of wrestlers competing or the same type of matches you're seeing? So to your point, you're going to one, and whether you go to the one in the middle or in the beginning or at the end, that remains up to you. And I'm curious to get your thoughts on that once you do that too. Lex, what was your thoughts on this all-in path approach and the fact that, again, is this just a one-time thing? Is this an experiment? Do you think maybe they should do this quarterly if it works out? Is there a smart strategy that should only be focused on Collision? Should Collision just be booked in smaller venues versus Dynamite and Rampage based on attendance? What's your take on this? face the camera.
For me, they should use it as a yearly thing because it would garner more audience and casuals across the globe, and it's a good marketing strategy for AEW for doing this all-in schedule for the UK at Wembley. So yeah, for me, it's a great idea for them to implement this schedule.
Yeah, fair enough. And again, we don't even know the fact they have all these shows booked out as far as tickets goes for Dynamite and Rampage. There's nothing booked out for the week of All In. So again, is that the first time again international broadcast for AEW Dynamite? Very real possibility, and it might be one of the biggest boons for this company in its young 5-year history. So I'm optimistic, but I do hope for more. So we'll see. And again, stay the fuck away from Chicago, and thank Christ you actually booked AEW All Out a separate week beyond back to back.
And it's on a Saturday. Thank you, goodness.
I was gonna say this for the record: Saturday pay-per-views for live, Sundays need to be for. That Saturday pay-per-views for live, Sundays need to be for rest. Damn it, and thank you. All right. Well, again, Backlash was a phenomenal show. That audience put everybody else to shame in this world as Yeeting with the Fireflies became official, and Jey Uso's probably got the best interest now in WWE, unless you keep singing Kingdom to Cody Rhodes. Again, NXT, they keep on building their women's division. Very curious to see how this ladder match for the NXT Women's North American inaugural champion basically unfolds, and who could be up there with the performance and history making of Adam Cole, baby, who of course won the inaugural ladder match for the NXT North American Championship and NXT TakeOver New Orleans. So Ava Rain, good luck to you. Build something huge. And again, right now, I'm just very curious. I'm glad to see Gallus back to see what's happening there. WWE needs to find more women's single stars. Period. That's all I gotta say about that. AEW needs to treat the women's division better, book them more, and stop cross-booking people to lose on AEW and win on Ring of Honor, thus freaking oscillating their momentum and their power rankings. Shouldn't matter at this point, if we're being perfectly honest here, and people avoid injuries. All right, well, that being said, I think that was a simple hub. Unless anyone has anything else to add regarding any other company, I think we'll move right into our main event, as I like to condense these things like they should do on buy-ins when it comes to let's talking. Okay, seriously, let's talking and just a balance of action. I think the buy-ins are still too long when it comes to the info point, but it's nice that they close with the match point, but it's only like 2 matches. I still think the buy-ins need some work. That's all I got to say about that. I guarantee it's going to be a 2-hour buy-in again this freaking Sunday. So why don't we just go ahead and get right into it? Because once again, family, it's that time in our history why the AEW started Revolution, the show, the broadcast, the brand, arguably the family. It started back truly here at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas as we go back for the 6th time on its 5th anniversary. That old tradition. It's AEW Double or Nothing. And once again, AEW Double or Nothing is presented by AEW, a pay-per-view, live on pay-per-view, this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can watch it across the following providers. I will use Triller. Unless you still like Bleacher Report. If you do, I have respect to you. And
Yeah, more power to you.
Yeah, exactly. I use Triller for Dynasty. That's all I got to say about that.
I use YouTube for Dynasty.
There you go. And also, in case you're wondering, there will be a form as I host predictions leagues for All Elite League, for I Am All Elite. And there also will be a city predicting for Double or Nothing this Saturday, following our watch along at King and Queen of the Ring from Different Multiverse of Media. And of course, I'll be calling commentary to do our own watch along special for Different Multiverse of Media as well. So stay tuned for more on that. Please follow me, follow Jeff Meacham, JJ Williams, Castle 18 Studios on your social media platforms. All right, guys. So far, this card's been fairly booked. It wouldn't surprise me if there's one more match added. Hopefully not to the main card, but they got to figure out something for the buy-in. We had 2 more matches made official tonight, and when you add that in with everything else, you basically have a total of a perfect 10 matches, all on the main card, including what they're calling a triple main event. Why don't we go ahead and just get right into it and start talking about this shit? So, of course, tonight, we're coming off Dynamite. The Bastard Pac, he was looking for trouble. Trouble found him. Jay White provoked him, and the Death Triangle is back. So the Death Triangle has a chance to take on the AEW Unified Trios champions. in a non-title, not even booked as an eliminator match. It's Bang Bang Gang, Jay White, and the Guns taking on Pac, the returning Rey Phoenix, and Penta Samuel. Now, unfortunately, there's not much more to say about this because titles aren't on the line. It's not even an eliminator, but Death Triangle is back. And if Death Triangle loses here, then what's the point of Pac looking for this trouble after his loss at Dynasty? So, simply put, I think it's safe to say that freaking Death Triangle needs to win this. Any further thoughts?
Death Triangle really does need to win, especially it's a non-title and it's not even an eliminator match. And of course, Pac just got Penta and Ray back. Well, especially Ray because who knew he would like heal very quickly? Because I didn't know what the status of him was looking like. So yeah, Death Triangle needs to win here. I mean, Bullet Club Gold can afford a loss here.
Yeah, nothing more to say. I mean, the lodge has been all talk and stuff like that. That's why he's listening to that. Y'all good, brother? People are like, what's that noise? Audio noise. Like feedback. People are like freaking wondering the feedback. So yeah, I think that match is cut and dry. Everything good, Lex? Everything good? Everything good?
Everything good?
Hold on.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, good deal. Lex, you have anything further to add with Death Triangle versus Bang Bang Gang? I mean, Death Triangle has to win this, right?
I think it's gonna be a good match, and for me, the trios match, it's gonna be a great even fight. So I'm looking forward to that match.
All right. Well, maybe you'll learn something, or maybe Jay White will learn something when it comes to shut your damn mouth. But speaking of learning, we are all underneath the learning tree in the Jericho vortex. As we saw tonight on AEW Dynamite, it was a triple threat to determine number one contender. And Bonnie Hunter Brian Keith not only tapped out to catch Shibata from a figure four leg lock, but Hook, who trapped the Red Rum. As Jericho delusionally laughed, smiled, and said, "Congratulations, guys, but I ain't losing this ever. But you still can do your best this Sunday when you fight for the world championship, in for the world rules in a triple threat." What's happening here? That's Chris Jericho for the world champion defends the FTW title against Hook and Shibata after already facing both men individually, sending Hook off with a boy baseball bat shot to the head and fearing Shibata, who approached him with a trash can on his head, but beating Shibata with the help of his Redwood in W. Morrissey. And of course, that Redwood will probably be there in his corner, where we don't know what the hell for the rules means for the FTW title. That's not FTW, but actually stands for the world. It's for the world championship. For the world, quote, for the world, quote, championship, folks. I'll put it in the banner, and then your confusion like a freaking Tim Allen can continue to escalate. Lex, anything further to add with Chris Jericho's learning tree? Are you learning something? Are you ready to burn some ground?
That's not the learning tree, not the learning tree.
That's all about doing some match. Oh my god. What the hell
Lord
is
have
going to
mercy,
happen
the
this
learning tree.
Sunday?
How should the king put this in demographic and in this match? Well, according to the demographics, apparently people have been in tune with Jericho and has made. I think at this rate he may get the nickname back of the Demo God because everybody has been in tune in this Jericho learning tree stick and learning underneath the learning tree of one Chris Jericho. Now, for this match, for the rules, what is this?
All
Is
right,
this a
guys,
no
I
DQ?
have to go.
You gotta
I'll
go.
see you guys again.
All right. You just let us know when you want to go punch
Let us
that
know,
door,
Lex.
man. Take care, brother. Be safe and take care of your mentality. And it's back to the dynamic duo once again, as we usually do for ARE AEW and ATW. But we're also crazy efforts that are awake this late at night, while he's in a different time zone. Peace be with you, Lex. See
Yeah.
ya.
They
I got you.
But
There we go.
but
Anyway,
back
back to your diatribe on this.
this for the what is this, a unique stipulation, no DQ match with a unique name? Like
I don't-
I'm brain dead.
Ah! It's Chris Jericho, the constant character creator of reinvention. Yeah, not much more to say since Chris Jericho's won this title from Hook back at Dynasty. So, one month
Curse
and
you, Hook.
oh boy. Let's just put it this way. If nothing else, we hope one thing does come out of this, and that's Hook versus Katsuyori Shibata one-on-one. Because I honestly wonder if Hook even needs this title. I know it's a family heirloom. I get that. But as long as Jericho has it, that family heirloom name doesn't mean Jack Dilly when his name is literally embroiled now as the learning tree, Chris Jericho, on the FTW title.
The ugliest nameplate I've ever seen on a title.
Yeah, and it's not even a sticker. It looks like it's bulleted on there, too. Oy vey.
That's the worst part.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of the worst, I don't know who's going to give the people what they want, more or for less, but this has to end, dude. This match right here has had a lot of bad blood with it and a lot of history. Two OGs of AEW since day one. And I'm talking about the brand itself, folks. AEW Double or Nothing 2019, that May 25th, where this brand came into existence. And you saw for the first time underneath these letters, freshly squeezed, Orange Cassidy. Of course, Orange Cassidy transcended to become the most notorious AEW International Champion twice. And of course, Trent Beretta, he's become a sourpuss that has won absolutely nothing. But it might have ended Chuck Taylor's in-ring wrestling career, which also, Chuck Taylor, thank you for everything. Please take care. And as we saw previously in a one-on-one match a couple weeks ago, it was Orange Cassidy that got the better of Trent. Trent trying to use his own devices for Orange Cassidy's destruction. He got bit in the ass for it, but he still took out Orange Cassidy afterwards. And we saw tonight on Dynamite in the tag team match, it was Trent that got the better of Orange Cassidy, put him to sleep post-match. But also Orange Cassidy once again suffered his end of heartache at the hands of Roderick Strong, as Roderick Strong and Trent Beretta won that tag team affair. The other caveat to this, and it may not be the only other caveat, Don Callis has lately been going to back for freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, while Chris Statlander has played interceptor and peacekeeper, or trying to, with one Trent Beretta for their assaulting Orange Cassidy. Again, when Trent betrayed Orange after losing out to the Young Bucks during that tournament, and the first person that asked for a response backstage was Chris, Trent whispered something in Chris's ear. To this day, we don't know what that was. And Chris has only been involved in this post-match or post-chaotic brawls, and not all of them at times. But you got to look at it like this. These guys have been here for the last 5 years. One has accomplished so much, become one of the people's favorites. The other one has done so much and accomplished nothing. Why he believes that he first brought this guy in as a mascot. His mascot has become the star player on the team. And Trent wants that position by any means necessary. It feels like a must-win for Trent, but it's almost one of those kind of wonder after what we saw tonight. Is Orange Cassidy going to once again find a way to win? And this time will it be with the aid of Don Callis? What's your take on this?
Yeah, speaking of, like, it gets weirder and weirder every week when we see Don Callis and Orange Cassidy walk side by side to the back, because it's like he's whispering something into Orange Cassidy's ear, and it's like, I want to be that fly on the wall to see what he is whispering about to Orange Cassidy. But also, when Don Callis will start first making play, he was scouting Trent first. Then he scouted Orange Cassidy. So it kind of plays a double-edged sword here of Don Callis. Who is he going to favor the most here? Is he going to favor Orange Cassidy? Or did out of nowhere, when Don Callis was first scouting Trent's match, is going to be Trent this whole time, and it was working up a ploy into having Trent join the Don Callis family. But also, what we saw in that tag team match, that Orange Cassidy, by hook or by crook, will go to the depths that I don't think he ever wants to reach and beat Trent. The one X factor is, well, Don Callis at the end of this match. But I'm going to go with Orange Cassidy, but I could be wrong.
I just know that things are never going to be the same again for the best friends, as their name implies. Best friends no longer, and as a unit, no more either. Again, Orange Cassidy lost with a Yuta. Now he lost Chuck Taylor, who would probably never wrestle again. And both, by the way, that's actually accurate. That last match was kind of a way to write him off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chuck, for everything. Damn it. And then, of course, right now, Trent, the one that was probably the closest to him, going to bat for him many times, including his time during national champion. Tied together. Now he is his bitter enemy. Orange Cassidy basically is alone at this point, besides Asuka Rock, who's trying to become a singles champion, and Katsuyori Shibata, who's right now basically working with Hook to trim the learning tree down to earth. So it's just a weird world right now for Orange Cassidy, particularly, where for once it's not whatever, it's what's next. So yeah, I think just proverbially to take both these men in a different direction, Trent wants to not just beat Orange Cassidy. He wants to break him. But how far is he willing to break him when he could hurt him so much physically and it's not enough? To beat him here where it all began at Double or Nothing is solidification, I think, for Trent in his motives, and I think a fitting finale to these two's rivalry. I think Trent needs this more. So right now I'm kind of going with Trent. Of course, as I host Prediction Leagues, 4 will be made official, of course, this Friday night after the countdown to Double or Nothing, which will be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, expect the 4 on my social media platforms in the comments down below for City Predicting come Saturday. And maybe I'll even put in the comments down below this video too. So stay tuned for that. But for a grudge match, there's a lot of history to this that meets the eye, despite the fact that this fallout only occurred literally in April. So it's crazy to think about. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that being said, we go from a grudge bout to a championship bout, and I'll let you kick this one off because we're in Vegas, and what do you not do in Vegas? You don't bet often against the house of Black. As Malachi Black will go one-on-one with the TNT champion, Adam Copeland, for the TNT championship in a barbed wire steel cage match. What the fuck? And that's not all, because the caveat also for this match is if Adam Copeland loses, he must bend the knee and humble himself before the House of Black. Malachi Black has been on this continued escapade to return Adam Copeland to what he truly was, to kill him and bring him back to life, back to what he was before the charade of a family man, a babyface in the Cope Oakland. And why he might be looking to get closer to that, he may have already got it and might already be regretting it, because Adam Copeland has channeled back to the days before he was the loving family man and has brought forth a different judgment of Malachi Black in a bloodbath as Adam Copeland has gone through the fire and the flames. Will something come to light out of the darkness when these two collide inside a barbed wire steel cage? King, your thoughts on this? What the hell is about to happen?
Malachi is doing everything he can to break this facade, as he's called it. A facade of a man who he knows deep down he can find that old rated R superstar that was evil and twisted and conniving throughout most of his career. That's what Malachi is trying to do here. And it all started when the House of Black did the invasion of the Cope Open. First, it started with Buddy. Didn't get the job done. But that was step 1 of breaking him down. Step 2 was Brody King. He did not get the job done. But it was another step. That step was taking the one thing that basically I felt was a driving force into this of what made it personal. The wedding ring. And it made us question, what does Malachi want with the wedding ring? And then now it all comes down to forward motion of, I want to break you down. I want to basically stop you paint a facade of what you are, of this family loving man that you are painting yourself to be. Because deep down in your hearts, that I know that you are a certain rated R superstar deep down. And this is what Malachi is doing. And we've seen Adam Copeland's body languages as of late. The way he's been acting, the way it's like he's been in and out of his head. It's like, yeah, I'm this family loving man, but also deep down, I am the rated R superstar because Malachi's in my head and he's living rent free all of a sudden. And the body language has shown, especially with Kyle O'Reilly and so forth. And now when Adam Copeland made the challenge to Malachi, which later he accepted in a barbed wire steel cage match, like how evil can you possibly get? And then when Malachi got done with his match, which was MMA clinic at its finest with Kyle
Man,
O'Reilly,
yes.
very
Problematic.
pure bout, and then we seen red lights pop off. And I was thinking to myself, and I even said it to him, I said, is he about to go brood? And then lights stopped, and then here came the bloodbath, and then the lights went out, and then we see on the screen, yeah, this man went back to being a brood before he became rated R.
Yep.
Malachi, you got what you wished for. You made your bed. Now you about to lie in it. When Adam goes brood, things don't end well. Just ask Seth Rollins. Just ask the Miz. They'll tell you, Malachi. Adam Copeland's retaining, but both of these men will not leave that cage the same.
Yeah, I'm about to say, what a hell of a way to come to singles action. A real big singles program for Malachi Black, unlike anything we've seen the likes of. After the Cope Open has really transformed Adam Copeland into that spry, young, hungry individual, now back to vengeful, evil veteran spirit. And again, we've seen this guy had incredible Cope Open matches since winning the TNT Championship, most recently against the likes of, you guessed it, Kyle O'Reilly. And of course, also survived Buddy Matthews and Brody King. But again, Malachi Black's been preying literally on the psyche of the former Rated R superstar, now attacking the heart that is his family. Without Beth Phoenix right now showing up and rising out of the ashes like a phoenix of vengeful violence and fire. And I'm just wondering to the extent what this barbed wire steel cage is going to look like. This is the first ever barbed wire steel cage match in AEW history. Is it just going to be the roof where, regardless, there is no escape from the steel cage? Steel cage matches don't win via escape. They end via pinfall submission inside the ring. Or is there going to be literally barbed wire wrapped around this entire steel cage that you could use as a weapon to further deteriorate your opponent? This is a very dangerous, violent atmosphere. And we have never seen Malachi Black in this type of setting or environment, the likes of we've seen Adam Copeland endure to the point Undertaker once threw him straight through hell inside Hell in the Cell. I'm just saying.
Hello, SummerSlam.
It's one of those things where Adam Copeland, again, he's been the TNT champion now since Megan Christian Cage say I quit, which we'll talk more about here later. But I also think Malachi Black, there's more to this than just the TNT championship, despite the fact that House Black no longer holds any gold, and Julia Hart also, again, is injured and has not been involved or seen anywhere in this picture. But for Adam Copeland to join the House of Black when they're already such cohesively, effectively niche as a trios, I just don't know if Adam Copeland needs to be part of House of Black or that act. And I also, in a way, don't want to see Malachi Black lose, but under an extreme circumstance like this and in the story, it makes sense for, like many others, a hero to overcome the villain, even if it means losing himself a little bit in the process and maybe not coming back the same way again following it. I mean, you said it yourself, mist changes people. Adam Copeland was misted back at Dynasty. And here we are now at Double or Nothing with a brood attitude. So I think for me, yeah, I think Adam Copeland is going to retain, but I don't know what we're going to see on the other side of the Rated R superstar following this barbed wire steel cage. And for that matter, I also don't know what we're going to see from Malachi Black, or if we'll see him again anytime soon when Adam Copeland and Malachi Black are done with this war of attrition, darkness, and violence. But yeah, I think Adam Copeland retains the TNT title too. It's going to be an interesting match, though. I'm for it, but I'm also a little bit worried about it. And honestly, if Julia Hart does show up and missed Adam Copeland in the face, like she did with the Death Triangle a couple of years ago at Double or Nothing when she first arrived, then again, how do you bet against the house? And as they say, the house always wins. We very well might be seeing a humbling and a welcoming of another member of the House of Black, King. I'm just saying. It's one of those matches where, again, it could go either way. But I think for the TNT title's sake, Adam Copeland needs to continue to do what he's doing with the Cope Open. But maybe no longer be a babyface after this. Be a desperate heel. Hungry for more competition. But also driven to hold on to his championship. It's going to be an interesting story. I'm all for it.
Same.
All right. In a match that really doesn't have a lot of story, but will definitely have as much of a spirit to it of a different variety, hard-hitting, to say the least, Konosuke Takeshita, the Alpha, will have a huge opportunity to go one-on-one with Ian Moxley, the current, I kid you not, folks, IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. But it is not for that very title. It is for a chance for the title. For this is a eliminator match. Now, for those that follow the history of AEW, you know as well as I do, an eliminator match means that if you hang or beat the champion, you get a future shot at their title. In the history of eliminator matches, though, nobody's won an eliminator except for a countdown draw once with Chris Jericho for one Jungle Boy Jack Perry when he hung for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's had a title shot following that since. Konosuke Takeshita, of course, coming off an incredible year of action and showcase with zero butt kiss for it. After going one-on-one with Will Ospreay at Revolution, losing. And, of course, previously last year has victories over the likes of Chris Jericho and Kenny, by God, Omega. But there's also a big chance for him to demonstrate what he's capable of once again in singles action at pay-per-view. But also, it's also to once again reassure his value as the Alpha in the Don Callis family too. Again, strong spirit. It's AEW versus DDT Pro for a shot at the richest prize in NJPW, the IWGP Heavyweight Championship Gold. Just saying. And Forbidden Door, by the way, is next month, folks, not tonight. Or Sunday night, excuse me. King, it's one of those matches where I almost feel like this match, I'm glad Konosuke is getting opportunity, but this feels like a match that should be on Dynamite. It's an eliminator for Pete's sake. There's not much more to say about it. Plus, we know, unfortunately, Jon Moss defended this title at Dominion against Evil, and I pray to God he doesn't lose, or I might as well stop watching NJPW. Your thoughts on this, though, and what does it lead towards Takeshita? I feel there's more in winning, clearly because he got a championship match, but if he loses, maybe he realizes that Don Callis is not the way to go for him, turns his back on him, or does Don Callis start getting a little bit, desperate? We've seen Don Callis before screw Jon Moxley. Hello, winter is coming, 2021.
20.
Just saying. Or I can't remember years. It was
2020.
Yeah, 2020. Sorry. I try my best to forget about that year for reasons. We all do.
Same.
You're fussing this eliminator, though. At the end of the day, Jon Moxley is a big guy. Konosuke is yet to be that guy. And we're waiting for him to go babyface. But as long as this continued saga of the fallout of the Don Callis family's going, it's not going to happen anytime soon. What's your take on this?
Here's my look at it on a creative booking standpoint. There's two people who hold that booking standpoint and split that 50-50 when it comes to this IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. It's Tony Khan and it's Gato. How I look at it is like this. Basically, it's more so Gato because that's, of course, an NJPW belt. That is the main belt. And the way how I look at it is like this. I'm gonna ask this question to all of you guys out there that will watch this anytime before Sunday. Would you rather have Takeshita in this spot, or would you have Takeshita's momentum of getting matches get halted, especially in a big spot like this? Because rather have Takeshita, and I get everybody's concern about eliminator match. I get everyone's concern. I've seen it on social media. Well, this should be for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, and that I agree with you. But this is also the booking of mostly Gato because it's also an NJPW top tier main belt. And of course, Tony Khan split the booking of that because John Moxley is also not only an AEW wrestler, but he's also a two-way. He's an AEW and NJPW, like an Eddie Kingston, like a Lance Archer. Now, with Takeshita getting a spot here, I'm proud because I'm glad he's getting a singles momentum back, even though he has taken a few losses, especially this year alone. Will Ospreay, which was also a classic match with Will Ospreay at Revolution. I'm glad he's getting this spot here because, of course, in an eliminator match, Takeshita has to win because of the fact that Takeshita will basically pertain to Don Callis. Don Callis will pertain more to Takeshita than what he would do with Will Ospreay. Because have you seen of course, the initiation when the Don Callis family first started? Who was Don Callis's first target to join the family?
That would be Konosuke Takeshita when we saw him go to Japan for this man.
But Don Callis always calls Will Ospreay, his golden goose, right?
Yeah.
So if Takeshita gets the win here, that will play a factor into Roderick and Will Ospreay's match, which we will talk about later on. That'll play a factor because Don is still going to attain more to Takeshita and getting Takeshita, whether hook or by crook, the win here. And of course, probably, conjecture plans here and there for a future IWGP World Heavyweight Championship title shot against Moxley. We possibly will get Winter is Coming revisited, but with Takeshita, giving Takeshita the win here and earn himself a future IWGP World Heavyweight title shot. I'm going with Takeshita. Takeshita needs a win here more than anything.
Truth be told, he also could win it by disqualification. And if they rattle John Moxley's chain enough and Don Callis gets involved enough, it might literally lead to that. All it takes is one false breath bump, and next thing you know, ding, 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 to your point. So, yeah, for me, it feels like Takeshita kind of needs to win this to stay some point above water in the AEW ecosystem that's still muttered as we talked about to this point. So, yeah, I simply put, I'm going with you that Takeshita just needs to win this out of circumstance because what does John Moxley gain in victory? Nothing.
Nothing. He's just going
to defeat the challenger for this title. And it also helps put a young, hungry talent over, which is what John Moxley's MO was, and Brian Daniels' MO was when Blackpool Combat Club was formed. We saw what he did with his student Shota Umino in his final exam back at Resurgence. By the way, shout out to Resurgence. Congrats to, of course, ELP Aguilera getting the titles. Jeff Cobb, of course, becoming NWW World Television champion, still retaining against Lance Archer. Gabe Kidd became NWW Strong champion against Eddie Kingston. Oh, what degree?
With prayers and speedy recovery to Eddie Kingston. Prayers and speedy recovery.
That's putting it politely. And of course, Stephanie Valkyrie retained her NWW Strong Women's Championship against Alice Windsor. Very game bout. Very curious to see who challenges her next for that. So much more. It's a very fun show. So it's just one of those things right now where Konosuke, you need to win this, bro.
I'm glad you said Stephanie Valkyrie. I'm not sure if you got this graphic up and ready to go because she called out a certain Monet on X on Twitter yesterday. Speaking of Monet,
later. I'm about to say, Monet, she's been talking a lot lately, and we're going to talk a lot about that when we get to this, but believe it or not, dude, it almost feels like when you look at this being a triple main event, the rest is an undercard, which is kind of weird considering some of these matches have such a compelling story. The intensity and the level of competition is going to be brought by the athletes. And then you figure about, okay, what's this lead to next, though, and am I actually going to be happy with the results? And
you said it best. When we was talking about NXT Battleground, you said it best. This is the fight city. This is the capital city. This is the fight city. UFC. It kind of feels like Tony's making this like a UFC type to where you got a triple main event, and the rest is just, you said it, undercard. It's weird, but it's like he's kind of making it like that because, of course, he is friends with Dana White. So it kind of makes it like a resemblance of some sort.
And to think this undercard, as we call it, we're not even done with yet based on what's been officially announced. And please, no more matches. 10. Nice round number. Do 1 or 2 matches on the buy-in. Give some other talents.
But that would put you at 11 or 12.
Yeah, but you know it's good. But here's the thing. Hi, Jeff Meacham. Here's the thing. You know Tony Khan always has to do not 1, but 2 matches at least on the buy-in. He's booked nothing for the buy-in. And preferably, as much as I hate to say it, the first name before the titles are Eliminator, I almost think Bang Bang Game versus Death Triangle should be on buy-in, but I know it's not.
But I have a fear that what we talked about when we were doing the watch along, that a certain virtuosa was promoting, saying my first AEW Double or Nothing. And then I have that feeling that I hope and pray on my life that these two, that Deanna and Rosa, do not get put on the buy-in. Because if they do, I'm not going to be a happy man.
Expect a rant and not a call from the Simple Man during his watch-along event, courtesy of the Japanese Multiverse of Media, if he has to call the Virtuosa and Thunder Rosa on a fucking buy-in versus Bang Bang Game versus Death Triangle for no title involvement or vacations whatsoever on the main card. I'm just saying. Now, that being said, we'll go ahead and focus on what's officially announced before I chastise AEW and the piss poor booking of the women's division. But speaking of the women's division,
Timeless.
It's never going to end, is it? Yes. The AEW Women's World Champion, not part of the triple main event. Just put that in perspective. The AEW Women's World Championships on the line as Timeless Toni Storm defends the gold against Professor Serena Deeb. Oh, good grief. I know what the result's going to be. Okay. Oh, no. So in context, you shut it. In context, Serena Deeb, of course, came back from debilitating, life-threatening circumstances, self-care, self-redevelopment, woman of 1,000 holds, where this is not just power life, this is her life, and she is back to bring the W back to All Elite Wrestling and win championships. Made her intentions known that she wants to be the next challenger for the gold. After Timeless Toni Storm was able to defend the title successfully against Thunder Rosa, help needed. She hit her in the V. What a cheap shot. I'm just saying. And of course, she is still the AEW Women's World Champion. After the recent fallout with the Outcast, with Saraya and Harley Cameron and Anna Jay and Mina Shirakawa coming to Mariah May's aid. Just want to put that out there in perspective. And the questions that the Karen has angrily not answered about maybe Mariah May being a challenger for her championship, considering her recent run lately in AEW. Quite a run lately, might I add. We now currently have the Professor taking on the Charlatan. As of course, it's got personal after not only did Serena Deeb knock a bitch out as she rightfully should have, but
Hey.
Storm, I'm going to get on to you in a moment. Don't you start with me yet, brother. As of course, we saw Toni Storm take the flag that represents what Deeb is, the professional wrestling, and freaking tarnish it, only for her to get what she deserved. A luxury heel to the forehead, spiking her open, and a serenity lock with a chair brace. She's made this personal, and the Professor is about to teach her a lesson in respect, while also showing her how submission really works. It's showtime for these two stars of the professional wrestling industry in their own right, one bigger than the other. As, of course, Serena Deeb, well-respected professor of professional wrestling, as she is, damn it, somebody who should have lead your division, but also not the first time she's challenged for this title, particularly at Double or Nothing. In fact, it was Thunder Rosa, the Mera, that was pushed to her limits against Serena Deeb 2 years ago at Double or Nothing. So here we stand once again 2 years later, where the name implies basically what Tyler Valkyrie and Jade Cargill was. Except here it makes sense on the stage itself. Simply put, King, and I know that I'm sure you're not going to be biased at all. We're not going to rant like we did. People want to hear that nonsense. They can go on the internet and rant with somebody else. We got too many brain cells for that. We're on this unbiased, simple fans that respect women's professional wrestling. Damn it! So that being said, King, Double or nothing. Serena Deeb, Timeless Tony Storm won. Serena Deeb, it's the first time ever encounter, folks. But Serena Deeb's second chance at Double or Nothing, the AEW Women's World Championship. Your thoughts on this match? How it developed? What do you expect to see? What do you think is to come following? Knowing the Forbidden Door is next.
Oh my goodness! When Deeb made the challenge, I'm not going. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to admit that is Tony's. How shall I put this? Legit. Her third legit threat. The first legit threat was Deonna Purrazzo. She won. No, she won. She still holds the title. She won.
The freaking charlatan, the entourage, the only reason she's the champion, and you know it. She hit Thunder Rosa and the V. That's below the belt, freaking wrestling. And
I did. I did not get to Deonna yet.
And you endorse this childish charlatan.
Listen, okay, I did not get the Thunder Rosa yet because, like I said, she won in Greensboro. Very, very good strategy from Tony Storm. Yep, I mean, she won. She still retained the belt. Yep, I don't care about the Yana tap out because at the end of the day, Tony still held on to the championship. Now we move on to Dynasty. We move on to Dynasty, and where she did it. She was below the V, but the ref didn't see it. Did the ref see it? Let me ask you the question: did the ref see it? Did the ref see it? Huh? No. Okay. Thank you, Noah, for that answer. No, the ref did not see it, and it was a very good match. And Thunder Rosa did bring back Tony, the old Tony, which you have to respect. She brought back the Tony of old when it comes to wrestling in this gimmick. She brought the Tony back, and of course, Storm Zero, and the victory 1, 2, 3 at Dynasty. So, and still your AEW Women's World Champion. Now, there we are with Serena Deeb. When she first made the official challenge, I was concerned here because this is Deep Dojo here. She's stepping into Deep's Dojo. Now, when people step into Deep's Dojo, they don't leave the same because Serena Deeb is the professor, as she so respectfully is. But also, we have a masterful TMC classic of a champion that people has adored and has respected and has tuned in for the multiple show times of Tony Storm, of what happened on Collision of Saturday night. And I see the look on your face is what distracted me right now. As we saw greatness, a masterpiece, a Picasso work of art that we saw on Saturday before Serena Deeb ruined the shot. And I agree with Nigel in this case. I want my quarterback, Serena Deeb. I want my quarterback because that was a screenshot that will be seen throughout all of the international and all of the United States.
This is only wrestling. It's the best that's supposed to wrestle, not the freaking cheapest script.
Hey, you put some respect on your women's world champion, as she is the true leader of this women's division, and so rightfully she is. Now, by hook or by crook, that's what Tony has done best right here. I will admit that. But as long as the referee doesn't see it, and Luther will be at play, and Mariah May plays her role, and then, well, Mina Shirakawa, I know she's probably going to come in and basically have to choose before we get the Forbidden Door on Long Island. I know Mina's going to play a factor in here. But at the end of the night in Las Vegas, I will bet on Tony Storm. I will bet red, black, however you do it in blackjack. I will go full all in. Well, no pun intended to August. Tony will retain her glamorous AEW Women's World Champion, and then we will see the last of Serena Deeb, and I will thank Serena Deeb for her efforts in this match, as this match will be classic. But at the end of the day, at the end of the night, Sunday night, all the stars will be shining bright in the fight capital of Las Vegas as one timeless Tony Storm retains the AEW Women's World Champion.
for a whole dose of haterade and her taking that damn head off.
Make sure you have your King. Got one more to take the thing. Make sure you have your chin up, and your watch out for the
Watch
two.
out for it tonight. All right, fine. Like I said, I already know where this is going. Between Forbidden Door and the Mina Shirakawa and the underlying Mariah May storyline, where Mariah May might have to choose the better of the two teachers, or the more favorable, the more friendly, the more loving and caring, it seems. And also the fact that, again, I'm still holding out for Jamie Hayter. I'm a hater. Getting her ultimate moment at Wembley Stadium in her home country, as she should, damn it, because she never got to be the champion she deserved to be during 2020 because of a fucking pandemic, fucking natural crisis. So, yeah, it's just one of those things right now where, unfortunately, due to circumstances and storytelling and trying to elevate the championship in itself, and the timeless entourage will not be too far away where the butler might get his head concaved. There's too many factors right now that show that Tony Storm will find another way to escape with the friggin' AEW Women's World Championship. Begrudgingly. But
I'm glad you are embracing the timeless era that we are so pleasantly graced upon her presence.
I ain't embracing shit. I'm just going with the obvious here because there's a reason why this isn't part of the self-proclaimed triple main events. And we'll talk more about that here in a moment. But Serena Deeb, leave Tony Storm with a painful lesson in humility that she won't soon forget, lest she desecrates her dojo again and you rip off her limb. Damn it.
We don't need a coach shoe involved. We like to prefer regular sneakers. No coach needed.
Should have been a fucking railroad spike. Anyway. All right, moving on. As we move on to something much more, I say full of vinegar and piss and also rage, as we have the Messiah of the Batbreaker taking on the All Elite Bruv, defending the AEW National Championship. It's Roderick Strong, the Undisputed Kingdom, defending the gold against the All Elite Bruv, Will Ospreay. Now, this right here is maybe undercard match, but it's going to be match of the night. Fight me if you think otherwise. I'm just saying it as I see it. Let's fucking go, King. As we know, Will Ospreay, who transcended upon the All Elite Wrestling scene, officially signed back in January. He has already had a resume of incredible classics, including kicking off at Revolution against Kazuchika Takeshita. And then he transcended with that with Kyle Fletcher. Dear God, that match with Kyle Fletcher. He's also been in the ring with the likes of Lee Moriarty, Shane Taylor, Katsuyori Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs, and of course at Dynasty, Bryan Danielson. But he was not the same man coming out of that match as he was going in. For he saw where that adrenaline, the moment, the match took him to the point that he thought he really did some heavy duty damage on Bryan Danielson. It was a scare. And it's one of those things where you play the mental game, you start doubting yourself. Can I trust myself with this move without causing somebody an injury too? We've seen teases of this where he wants to go to it, but he doesn't do it. We saw it almost bite him in the ass when he wanted something in the first place, in the first ever Casino Gauntlet. Quite a unique concept. As he and Kyle O'Reilly, that needs to happen, by the way, one-on-one, had a hell of an exchange, and at the better of that, with Kyle O'Reilly and Commander, Ospreay got the win, became the next challenger towards Roderick Strong's Dynasty Championship after Kyle O'Reilly, again, Kyle O'Reilly, prominent wrestler, fine artist for a reason. He, of course, fell short against Roderick Strong in the sleeper match of the night at Dynasty for the AEW International Championship, as he really has taken on the second coming to professional wrestling truly to heart, giving us incredible matches and moments too, including, like you said, that MMA mixed strike technical clinic against Malachi Black before he got his head taken off at the end. But here we stand. As we saw, these men, they've exchanged words. The bad blood here goes all the way back to Ring of Honor, where Roderick Strong to this day still does not show Will Ospreay that same level of respect that Will Ospreay shows him. And he's going to take it from him by any means necessary. and prove it with a statement. But will it involve going against his code, doing what it needs to win? Because you know Roderick Strong's going to use anything possible, including the Undisputed Kingdom, to win. Is Will Ospreay willing to go further than Roderick Strong to win his first title in AEW? International Championship. What was Will Ospreay's last request before leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling? Give me a title that I could take global. And we had the Global Heavyweight Championship inaugural match at Wrestle Kingdom. He failed. This title, though, was defined for international showcasing, and the Forbidden Door is upon us again next month. Roderick Strong's been a very effective champion when it comes to demonstrating this title, but also the Devil's Will keeps carried out with the insurance policy we saw during the tag match tonight with Wardlow playing the X Factor, as Will Ospreay was left a bloody, battered mess at the end of Heartache. But who's going to be at the end of Heartache this time? The All Elite Bruv or the Messiah of the Backbreaker? And could it involve a Storm Driver? So again, is it Don Callis? Is it the Storm Driver? Is it the Undisputed Kingdom? What is the key to victory for the champion or the challenger? Your thoughts on this match, man. Where does it lead to for either the All Elite Bruv or the Undisputed Kingdom?
I'm glad you brought up keys here for I'm glad you brought that up. Keys for Roger to retain. Insurance policy. Wardlow. We saw it happen in the tag match that got Roderick and Trent Beretta the win. That's the key to victory for Roderick Strong to retain the AEW International Championship, because Adam Cole has made out the prophecy and made out a statement towards Wardlow when Wardlow lost his chance at Joe for the AEW World Championship. Basically saying, make sure you keep the titles underneath the Undisputed Kingdom camp. And he's done that so far. So that's the key for Roderick, is basically if the insurance policy gets called by Wardlow, Roderick retains. As far as Will Ospreay goes, he like you said it, he teased it of bringing back the Storm Driver. He's teased it, but not has went full throughout with it, because it's more of a mental game for him after what he did to Bryan and Dynasty in St. Louis, which was an injury scare. In order for him to basically take this championship and make it global and get the title off of Roderick, he's going to have to basically tap into that side and defeat the mental game and use the Storm Driver to beat Roderick, to capture the international championship from Roderick and take it global as he proclaims it. Those are the keys there for both champion and challenger. Now, my projection for Ospreay was not international gold. It was basically him and Swerve at All In and Wembley. But now we have international championship agenda here for Will Ospreay, a possibility. As much as I like Roderick, part of me wants Will to elevate this title and take it global, like he has said. But also on the other end, the other shoe, I want Roderick to hold the title a little longer. So I'm a split 50-50 right now, which my prediction could change before Sunday. But if the insurance policy gets called and Will Ospreay is still in that mental, fighting himself and the Storm Driver, Roderick retains.
I also wonder, like you said, you also talk about Golden Goose, Don Callis. Did this Golden Goose lay his last egg? And is this the fallout we've been waiting for with the Don Callis family? Or is this the win the Don Callis family has been looking for this entire time? Don Callis especially. Why he's been focused on the Orange Cassidy agenda. Let's not forget the first day after he won that gauntlet, he confronted Kyle Fletcher backstage, said, "You lost," in front of Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay won, and we know how close Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher are. Kyle Fletcher right now, again, you could argue to say if it wasn't for the influences of Don Callis, he probably wouldn't have been the Ring of Honor World Television champion, based on how far he was willing to go in that six-way survival match and what he's done since, despite the fact he dealt with these issues. So, yeah, for me, I look at it like this also. Wardlow, how much more can a man stand to be a lackey when literally 2 years ago he opened Double or Nothing, Powerbomb Symphony MJF into oblivion 10 times and getting his official All Elite graphic. 2 years later, he's right back in that original spot in the shadows playing Enforcer. Is that what Wardlow wants to be known and what he wants to be? Or can Wardlow once again turn the dime, less than Paul White, and actually lead to an Ospreay winning? Because again, Adam Cole, he might be standing, but he's not competing. But Adam Cole and Wardlow, that's an interesting program that has never happened. And
especially
also,
with the go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was about to say.
Especially with the way how Adam Cole was kind of side-eyed Wardlow when Roderick retained the international championship at Dynasty. He side-eyed him a little bit, a little tease.
Yeah. And again, it's just one of those things where I do think Will Ospreay, the fact that he has this mental game against him, I think protects him in loss, as well as continuing a storyline where eventually he's going to freaking leave the Don Callis family. The Don Callis is going to betray him just like he screwed driver Kenny Omega. And again, the Forbidden Door is next. And we also know, to your point now, it will be another casino gauntlet, but a Forbidden Door casino gauntlet to determine the next challenger for the AEW World Championship. And that challenger will face off for the AEW World Championship at Forbidden Door in the UBS Arena June 30th, the next time that AEW goes on to pay-per-view. So there's a lot on the line, but there's still a lot of unknown. And I do think that Roderick Strong has too many insurance policies. And between Will Ospreay challenging himself and the Don Callis MO, I think the All Elite Bruv might catch himself caught off guard. Only takes 3 seconds, as we know. I think Roderick Strong does retain here, too, because I do think that Will Ospreay is destined to be a champion. But I think they're going to let really the current champion run its course. And there is that campaign going with the Undisputed Kingdom. There's more story, though, for Will Ospreay not being a champion right now than him being a champion as well. I think Roderick Strong retains. I got to go with Rowdy. All right. Well, that being said, that was a lot of great undertalk, like you said. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Pull the slot machine, and you see the Triple Seven in front of you as Double or Nothing this year in what they are calling a triple main event. That's right, triple main event. And that being said, King, let's go ahead and get right into these. There's a lot on the line here. A lot of bad blood, a lot of history, some brewing rivalries, and really there's a lot of unpredictability for, I'd say, the future regarding several individuals in each of these matches. Let's get right into it, bruv. I know it's anarchy in the arena, but for me, it's like, okay, everybody's going to do their thing. They're going to go crazy. Then you got the TBS Championship, of course, where you have Monet, who's been doing nothing but talking, and now will finally start walking. Will she walk out on her own power and with a title? And then, of course, you have Swerve Strickland, who's facing the ultimate mental game in Christian Cage, looking to put him 6 feet under in a working coffin versus the coffin that Swerve was stuck in at All In, that Christian Cage still blames him for to this day. Let's go ahead and get right into these, and I'm not going to say another word as we kick things off with this. Is Will Nightingale's momentum simply a cause of the effects of what happened to Mercedes Moné a little over a year ago? Was she right? And this time, will Moné walk out with everything at the expense of Willow? What is the future of not only Mercedes Moné and Willow Nightingale, but the TBS Championship? King, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Mercedes Moné, I said this to you multiple times. I've said it on Twitter multiple times. This is Mercedes' legacy game. The reason why I say that is because her checks have been cashing, but can her actions cash out? The reason why I say that is because what happened 10 months ago, was it a butterfly effect? We don't know, because she suffered a nasty injury. If you listen to her theme song, CEO, she's talked about it. If you listen to her interview, AEW Close-Up with Renee Paquette on YouTube, she's talked about it to where it was career-ending, almost career-ending injury. to where she felt like that, well, her career was getting taken away from her. That she felt like everything has ran its course. And then Willow became the inaugural NJPW Women's Strong Openweight Champion. But we see what she has done with that title when she held it. It was, I wish she would have held it longer, but good things come to those who wait. And the Willow momentum was picked back up, but I have a feeling certain two people in her camp, the way they've been acting as of late, may cause a play and a factor into a certain CEO winning a TBS championship. As far as the match goes, can Mercedes still go after what she suffered 10 months ago? She's been doing a lot of talking. And I'm going to bring up an NBA reference here because she is from Boston. I'm gonna bring up a certain big three that happened in Boston in 2008. Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce. Them three agenda was to win a championship together. But the separation is with Mercedes, it only takes one to win a championship. Unless Stokely and Chris Statlander find a way to make it happen and cause a heartbreak on Willow. Which I know you're fearing and I'm fearing too, but the way that Chris and Stokely been acting, and it's like, why do I feel like that we're going to witness a heartbreak? But also at the same time, why do I feel like Mercedes is going to cause us a scare? The reason why I say that is because she's been training. She's been training and training, especially she was training with what's her name? Miyu Yamashita. Yeah, her.
Yeah, the pink chick, Miyu Yamashita from TJPW.
Yeah, exactly. She's been training with her to get her ready for Double or Nothing.
Wow.
But I also feel like she's going to be causing a scare. Either way, I fear a heartbreak coming. I do. Because like you said it best, when this trio was made, it was basically just all about Chris and Willow. And then Stokely interjected himself. You even said he's a bad influence. You said it yourself. And that bad influence has, well, the way that kind of creeped into Chris Statlander a little bit. Especially when Willow cut that promo when they had that little unique camera to where they was facing from the stage, like back towards the stage or whatnot. And it kind of gave the away the body language of just basically standing like this. And they was wearing all black. That's when I noticed the first instinct of bad body language.
I thought that was just another Ben Stiller callback for another movie or something.
The way they were wearing all black and the way how they were standing, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Fair enough.
But the way how Stokely and Chris been acting, I sense a heartbreak. And I'm going with Mercedes to win. And I hate to say it, Willow's going to suffer a heartbreak and a short TBS title reign. Another short title reign at that.
Damn. I also want to think about this also because I remember this was noted at one point. What's a CEO without business partners or insurance of their own security? There's a couple of twins that have been interested to work alongside the CEO.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Robert Renegade. Of course, Robert Renegade was recently involved in singles action, as we know, against Diana Purrazzo before her arms got trapped in the Venus de Milo. We've also heard how much Mercedes Moné wants to go up against everybody. And ever since Julia Hart got injured, Sky Blue been doing her own thing, by the way. Fuck you people that show disrespect to women's wrestling.
I hate you people.
Yeah, y'all are wrong. You all don't deserve to be on the earth or with a phone or both. And, of course, Sky Blue, again, you know that she's got bad blood against the CEO that arrived on big business and got involved in the House of Black's business. To your point, Julia Hart, great champion since Full Gear, lost to Twila Nightingale at Dynasty. But also to that point of cross-breeding everything, Chris Statler never got pinned or submitted to lose the title and never got her tragically obligated one-on-one rematch. I'm just saying. Why Chris Statler has also faced losses not only against Willow, but Riho. Willow has transcendently beaten Riho at the main event of Big Business. But ever since Monet showed up, she's taken basically over Willow Nightingale's spotlight, making it all about herself because Monet talks, and she certainly does do the walk, both. But again, Stokely Hathaway, he is a conniving, manipulated little gnat, and he's been always with that eye for Chris Statlander. But it's just one of those things where I think about the balance of heels versus face in the AEW ecosystem, and there is an unbalance to say the least. There are not that many faces in the women's division, bro. And after Chris Statler already transitioned herself from world's greatest alien to more than woman and became one of the most prolific TBS women's champions, honestly, in AEW since Hikaru Shida, it's one of those things where I don't need to see her turn heel, at least not at the pay-per-view, but I can see that because tensions have to be on the rise when it comes to your friends and where you stand in this business. And I do think that Chris Statlander does once again want to be not TBS champion, just a champion. And I don't think Chris believes she's been overshadowed by her friend. I mean, heck, these two went to Chuck E. Cheese together. I'm just saying. That's friendship right there, especially at your age. What? Okay. That was funny. It's just one of those things where I do think that Chris Statlander should get a chance to become champion again, but I don't think it needs to involve Stokely halfway in her corner or her falling to dirty tactics. I do think there could be a mutual fallout with her and Willow, or Willow maybe taking some time away if she loses here, which I do agree with you. I think Mercedes Moné, because Mercedes Moné was bought into AEW for this purpose and this resurgence and fails, then this place just got a huge profit loss. I'm just saying. And this is double or nothing. You either make bank or you bust. So Mercedes Moné, it's a must win. But for Willow Nightingale, it's just, I think, a matter of circumstance. It's just a matter of what's next for her. And we've seen her bounce back with her smile, to your point. Lost the strong style to Julia, went on to win the Owen. Went on to challenge Athena, first ever women's world championship match in Ring of Honor, main eventing, Ring of pay-per-view. Came that close, came up short. And then, of course, went on to not only beat Chris Statlander, mutual friendly bout in the kickoff, might I add, of AEW World's End. But also, to that point, they had a follow-up win at the Tag Match Revolution and that kickoff, and then lost that street fight, but they've also won street fights together as well. And also, let's not forget what Willow did to Sky Blue in that last street fight for the TBS Championship. The girl likes violence. I like violence too. I can respect that. I dig crazy chicks. It's just one of those things where I think Willow right now is just a victim of circumstance, but at least she has the opportunity. And I think right now, Mercedes Moné and Willow, they're out to prove a point, not just to each other, but to themselves. And I think the pressure right now is more on Mercedes Moné, while she's all about making history. This is do or die in All Elite Wrestling for you, girl. That's all I got to say about that. I'm leaving out Stokely and Chris for now, and I'm thinking that the Renegade Twins could be the X factor here. I think we get help on behalf of the CEO, not a betrayal on Willow. But I do think Mercedes Moné does with the gold. I do have a new TBS champion.
Yep.
It'll be interesting, though, to say the least. And I wish nothing but the best to not only both women, but this title. Because for me, the TBS championship, considering that she's the fourth TBS champion, the title's taking a form of its own with whoever held it. So I'm very curious to see what Mercedes Moné could do to elevate the game of TBS. And maybe only on TBS, just saying. Good grief almighty. TNT, TBS, transitioning. They're two different channels for a reason. There you go.
But under the same umbrella.
Fair enough. All right, let's go ahead and talk some shit that's about to hit the fan, shall we? What the fuck are these yahoos about to do? Okay, here we go. Let's just fucking throw everything out there, including the proverbial flamethrower. It's the Elites versus Team AEW, FTR, Darby Allin, and Bryan Danielson in a double or nothing standard as of late. As we go once again for the third time in a row, anarchy in the arena. Why am I even talking at this point, bro? Seriously, look at this. Seriously. And of course, we know the Young Bucks
And
are no strangers to anarchy in the arena. They were involved in it last year. Jungle Boy Jack Perry and Kazuchika Okada have never been involved in it. Neither have FTR or Darby Allin. And the one that comes in with the most experience in both the previous ones, with a record of 1-1, is the American Dragon. Happy birthday, by the way, Bryan Danielson. It's truly a battle of who is AEW, who holds the value in those letters where they say the best wrestle, and this is all elite wrestling. Is it about them or is it about the company? Is it about three people, individual, and Kazuchika Okada, or is it about all elite wrestling? Look, you know me right now, all right? We've talked about this verbatim. You already know where I stand on each side. What does it mean when you have one side with every trump card possible up to the go home, where the guy you took out looked pissed off more than ever, by the way? I never seen Tony Khan like that. Oh, shit. And the literal position brings a flamethrower, the proverbial statement of someone's about to get fired. There's abusive power, and then there's a usurp of power. But we all know where the power lies at the end of the day, and that's in one madman, Tony Khan. So that being said, before Forbidden Door and the fact that this has escalated since AEW All In last year with this scapegoat, Crimea River gimmick implied, and we've seen what these guys have done at the expense of Christopher Daniels and many in AEW to that might, including we talk about it what I believe should be the main event because it's for the world title, damn it. I feel like for me, with the exception now that we have Darby Allin in play versus Eddie Kingston, I almost was going to go with the Elite. But with Darby Allin here already broken bread or bad and bruised, but he is AEW, damn it, and Bryan Danielson's AEW, damn it, and FTR is AEW, damn it, and right now we need to see something change, damn it. But I just gotta talk about the X Factor here. What the hell is Kazuchika Okada in an extreme environment where Corporate Okada is the best thing right now for me in the entire business? I said what I said. Maybe not the best bout machine. That's proverbial. That's also subjective. And I do think there is a receipt to come later regarding that. But what the hell is Kazuchika Okada in an extreme environment where there is no limits towards what you can do and what can happen to you? King?
did you just hear what you do you hear what you just said? Okada in an extreme environment for the first time in his professional wrestling career. That is an interesting thought to digest
Yes.
because we don't know what this man can do in an extreme environment. Now, with the elite, with the Bucks in play, they know what they gotta do. They know what they can do, especially Anarchy in the Arena. I mean, let's see, the Elite and Blackpool Combat Club will start at the feud of the faction warfare of last year. I wish we would have got that win, but Eddie Kingston wants to come out looking like Trevor Phillips with a gasoline can from a GTA 5 loading screen. I digress on that part.
That's still one of the most iconic shots in AEW history. I don't give a damn what anyone says. Continue.
But the elite, I mean, the Bucks know what they got to do and play, especially being the EVPs. Respect your EVPs, by the way. They have respected this company and they have put this company on the back.
They
of
put
their,
this company in the toilet almost before TK showed up with Darby Allin and a flamethrower to remind them exactly who's in charge. Continue.
And speaking of Darby, Darby is coming in here with a broken nose, healing from a fractured ankle, recovering from the glass he took at Revolution, and now he's not, and he's even said it. He's nowhere near 100%, but he is willing to fight for AEW to keep the new elite, the power of the new elite to go even more corrupt. In Team AEW's words,
Did I not say Darby Allin is AEW's icon?
you said, and I even mentioned to you in the tweet, was basically saying Darby is AEW's icon at this rate, just like how Sting was for WCW. I mean, they were tag team champions, tag team partners for crying out loud for the past 4 years. So it makes sense. And then you got FTR, who let's see, after 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's you kind of will make it a fifth in some sorts because of this match involving the Bucks and FTR. So you kind of will make it a Bucks and FTR five. Some say if you know similarity, whatever.
Yeah, what happened at Dynasty when that fucking scapegoat came in and freaking cost them the tag
The
titles in that
scapegoat
Battleground.
saved the day. But anyways, Jack Perry. Oh my goodness, this man's ascension to stardom within AEW since he's been back from excursion
Ascension,
has
infamous
yes.
ascension. Put a word in friggin' parentheses, why don't you?
Back to what I was saying. This man's ascension to stardom has been magnificent to see. Sending him to New Japan after what happened at All Out and Wembley was a great move because not only was he a good wrestler, underrated by the way, very underrated as he was, but also he can talk. He can talk. He could cut a good promo now. Sending him to New Japan was the best idea, even though he had to join the House of Torture. But that's another
Do you
conversation
realize
for a
what you're
different
saying?
day. But that's a different conversation for another day. Anyways, except for the fact that he's with them, and at least he's made that at least a little bit more digestible for me because he is elite, the elite.
Far from Black Ink like King Nebuchadnezzar, Jonathan Gresham, and TNA Impact. That's a whole different.
Anyways, before we get to that octopus man, Jack Perry's ascension to stardom within the elite has been magnificent. It's been wonderful. It's been tremendous. I'm enjoying this journey of Jack Perry. And of course, I can't leave this man out. It's Brian Danielson. He's had experience in these matches before. And of course, he's willing to put his body through risk just like Darby. So basically, when you look at Team AEW, it's basically game plan for the elite because Brian Danielson is basically, he said he's about to have surgery soon. That's basically one target. And of course, Darby, he said he's nowhere near 100%. He's like a walking medical skeleton in his own right.
Jeez, of peace.
So it's basically like, and they're plus they're.
Ah! It finally happened! Botch! There it is!
Dang it, it happened. I guess me talking crap about Team AEW happened.
It's a running gag, and I love it. Continue.
Okay. But this match is going to get chaotic. This match is going to get wild. We're going to see probably multiple themes play out throughout the arena in the MGM Grand, like how it was with Moxley.
Which being plays this time?
I can't. I guess I'm gonna go with Darby because Darby sounds more hard hitting.
I was gonna say Born for Greatness, just because Brian Daniels has been the biggest Braveheart crusader of all elite wrestling. God bless him, but yeah, he's just one more bat bump away from needing very spinal rearrangement.
That too, but the elite is going to take the victory here. It's no doubt about it. The elite are going to complete the takeover of AEW, and we're going to have AEW like show of the elite every Dynamite. What we've been slacking on. I don't know why. We need more. We need more elite Dynamite intros. They were magnificent, tremendous.
You're
But the elite.
The rest of the roster, bro.
Anyways, the elite gonna take the dub here, and we will continue our power of AEW until you can find out some people that are better than FTR and Brian Danielson and Darby Allin to take away the power of the elite, the elite.
I got 3 people on mine, but unfortunately, they're all injured right now. And we have no idea when one's coming back from diverticulitis. Please get well soon, cleaner, with all due real respect, as I'm still waiting for a Best Bout Machine versus the Best Bout Machine 5. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, King. But that being said, I hate not only Peter Pan and Disney because it fucking annoys me, but I hate the fact that it just seems way too fucking obvious that the elite will likely win. And it's one of those things where I only give a fuck if one member of the Elite wins, and that's the guy that's right there by the banner. And of course, that is the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. Again, what the fuck is Okada in Extreme Environment? But I also look at the fact that I don't know what the Forbidden Door freaking holds in store. FTR and Young Bucks is about to be ran into the ground at this point. I don't need to see it run back anymore. It's been there, done that. FTR's gotten the better of them when it actually matters. Simple as that. Brian Danielson has faced Kazuchika Okada, but you do wonder if he wants revenge for last year when Okada not only lost to Brian Danielson, he almost had his arm broken. But also Brian, he lost an arm nearly in the process. And then, like you said, Darby Allin, he's just one more accident away from somehow not being able to walk straight. But then again, he has a flamethrower, so maybe he doesn't need to walk straight. He just needs to burn the earth in front of him. So I just don't know right now. And also, we know that Jeff Jarrett, fuck that guy, and his oddities will probably be in tow. We know that what was the Mogul Embassy, if Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony are still functional, they could be on the payroll. But we also know now with Tony Khan back, even if they win, there is hell to pay by the man who truly holds the paper and pen. And we don't know the direction of AEW following this because this is the start of AEW's 5th year. Not Dynamite, but AEW in general. Again, it's where it all began. And we know right now we got Forbidden Door, nothing in July for AEW-wise, which is even more confusing to me. And we know in August we have All In. I think July is going to be very pinnacle in figuring out what the hell AEW's direction is going to be, not just in its wrestling environment, but maybe also in streaming and airing. But I think just because of one thing, Kazuchika Okada, he is not only the X Factor, he is the guy going in here right now at the best peak shape possible, period. And unless Kota Ibushi and freaking Heyman and Page and Kenny Omega show up, it is really hard to bet against the Elite. But fuck it! I am a guy that stands against authority and tries to oppose the obvious. To hell with this point. I want to see AEW win. Brian Danielson and company for the win. If the Elite could find anybody to show up on payroll like Joe Smo from Kokomo, then you could get the entire AEW roster to oppose this freaking foursome. Threesome that I could give two shits about, and one dynamic corporate Okada that is the greatest thing going in the business. I'm speaking kayfabe-wise, though they're taking my words seriously, because character dynamic be damned. I want Okada to thrive in this environment, but I want to see Team AEW fucking win, because in Anarchy in the Arena, you don't have to win by wrestling. You just have to win by any means necessary. And Brian Danielson's one crazy motherfucker. Going with Team AEW for the win. To hell with the point. This is gonna be fun because Anarchy in the Arena is always just fun to call. Whether you're drunk, sober, in it, not in it, aware, etc., talking over other people, it's fucking madness, and I love it. 2 years in a row, I fucking love it. So let's fucking go. Just play Born for Greatness all night long. So there you go. That's the Anarchy rant of the night. All right, well, that being said, we've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of talking. Why this might be the bigger story, AEW. And no, in my opinion, I still think the most prestigious thing in professional wrestling should be your richest prize. Let's go ahead and talk about the proverbial main event in whose house?
Swerve's house.
As Swerve Strickland defends the AEW World Championship against a bitter, manipulative, sneaky, desperate, and cunning leader of his patriarchy, the patriarch himself, Christian Cage. And apparently to Christian Cage, this has been stewing since last year's AEW All In when they lost that time at Wembley Stadium and Swerve was proverbially put in the coffin. Added leverage was, of course, Nick Wayne, his, of course, son, that, of course, was bludgeoned by Swerve Strickland last year with a family photo over his head, left bleeding and shards of glass. Of course, Nick Wayne got his fair share of flesh back, recently doing that to Swerve, with Christian Cage making this personal, with a demon probably more scarier than him, using his own 2 daughters as leverage against this father. Damn. As we've seen, he has literally ripped the dread out of Swerve's head. He has taken a piece of him mentally and physically. But Prince Nana is also back. And we saw what happened tonight on AEW Dynamite when Christian Cage was running for the nearest vehicle possible for Las Vegas. Now, you know as well as I do that likely the patriarchy will not be too far away from this match, too. Prince Nana is only one person. You still have Killswitch, Nick Wayne, and the Jezebel, if you will. That will likely be in the patriarch's corner. But Swerve said best at AEW Dynasty, and prior to that, when he beat Samoa Joe, who again is also back. Why is he wearing flannel? That's a whole different conversation. We know that Swerve says we are building a dynasty. And I think this dynasty is just beginning. No longer in tow with the Mogul Embassy, RIP. You said yourself, you're in the money as you got your boy back again, and you could expect a wonderful entrance with dancer escorts involved in the city of sin, Las Vegas. And these two sinners are fighting for the richest prize in AEW, the AEW World Championship. We talked about before, King, who's the worst of these two evils right now, and what are they willing to do to win not only the championship, but honestly probably destroy their opponent. This is a very dangerous match for both men, considering Christian Cage's history, but we also know to a degree the lengths that Swerve Strickland will go to when it comes to holding on to something he believes is his in his dynasty. What's your take on this? Considering the winner will face a new challenger at the Forbidden Door. And who knows what the hell that could be.
With basically NJPW and NJPW coming over next week for Dynamite.
They're in California. It makes sense. It's got to be.
So it's like this. Swerve can go to the depths of whatever tactics he's got to pull. We've seen what this man can do. He went to another man's house, which I will talk about here in a little bit in my closing. He went to another man's house, gave the little baby a t-shirt of the Mogul Embassy. Who would you think in their right mind will go to another man's house, go in their child's bedroom, and put another t-shirt in front of the kid? A little kid. But we see what Christian can do. These two are like two evils. It's hard to consider who's the more dangerous one. And of course, Swerve took care of Nick Wayne. And it's like, when I look at it this way, it's like Swerve's past is coming back to haunt him of what got him to the top. His past is coming back to bite him. Or at least in this case, revisit it.
And he's accepted it, and he's also embraced it, though, which is also scary as well.
Exactly. We also seen what he done with Bishop Khan and Toa Leona and Brian Cage and dismissed the Mogul Embassy just like that. Which basically, like a swerve stop and landed on his feet and then choked out Bishop Khan and then put away Brian Cage like that. Yeah, you are a dominant champion like that. Swerve, you is really like that.
And
but of course,
trying to find his neck.
Yeah, and then since Christian Cage has been back, I don't think it was even possible for this man to get even more sadistic and more twisted as he's been, along with Killswitch and Nick Wayne and Mother Wayne, whatever.
Jezebel.
Yeah, Jezebel, as you like to put it. But he's gotten more sick and twisted that I don't think it was even possible for him to reach. Killswitch ripped this. Killswitch ripped this.
You talked about that. You literally talked about that.
Which, that's like damaging to basically the scalp of the head. Which I'm glad it's never happened to me before, and I hope it would never happen. But that's damaging to a scalp, and it takes years to regrow that hair.
Yeah, he started physical, and then he got mental with his family.
When Nick Wayne grabbed the picture of Swerve and his two kids and then blasted him in the head, dripping out blood, and then Christian Cage grabbing the photo and smearing the blood of Swerve onto that photo, that's what it made it more personal. And what Christian Cage just done, is open, in my opinion, Swerve's Pandora box because I feel if he has done the antics of what he has done to not only Heyman, Adam Page, but also to his former Mogul Embassy running mates, I'm scared to even imagine what he can do to a so-called father in Christian Cage. Swerve's going to retain because you got to find out a challenger, a formidable challenger for Forbidden Door. Swerve retains, but Christian Cage, it'll possibly be the last time we see him for a while.
I mean, hey, we haven't seen him since he said I quit when he got spiked into his nether regions. Just saying. But again, when it comes to the devil you know versus the devil you don't, I don't think Christian Cage realizes the devil that Swerve can actually be versus the devil that Swerve may know quite well to a degree that Christian Cage can be. The last time someone made Swerve spill blood, they regretted it and they lost at the bigger stage. Hello, Samoa Joe, just saying. But it's one of those things also where, to your point, following this, literally this Wednesday, that 1 week from today, at the Forum in California, it's another casino gauntlet, and it's Forbidden Door, which means we're going to have people from New Japan. So who's to say the next challenger can't be somebody like Tetsuya Naito, Yota Tsuji, Shinya Takagi, Tomohiro Ishii, Sonata. I'm really trying to figure out other people. Jeff Cobb's the television champion, but I know he's been very.
Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, that's fair, but I think Zack wants the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. That's why he beat Tanahashi. Tanahashi would be very unique, but he's the president. He's got enough on his plate as it is. So it's just one of those things right now where I feel like you're literally putting the proverbial nail in the coffin of your past to forge the future of your legacy and your dynasty. I gotta go with Swerve Strickland. It's one of those things now where it's almost like he's become the villain we love, similar to a scumbag we once endorsed. RMJF, get well soon. It's just one of those things where it's like Swerve right now has become the people's choice. And he's admitted, yeah, I've done horrible things, and I realize I'm going to pay for them probably later, if not now. But, hey, you guys accepted me as your own. You guys embraced me, embraced my journey. And at the end of the day, I'm here to create a dynasty. He's achieved it. Can he hold on to it? Can he continue to elevate it? I think he does. I think Swerve leaves Double or Nothing as the AEW champion. Now, whether he's confronted the same night or he just waits to see what happens Wednesday night, that remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, once again, at the 5-year anniversary of AEW, it certainly is going to be a very unique, special, and a very emotionally driven Double or Nothing. And I am all in on it before we head all in Wembley Stadium. Of course, we got Forbidden Door. We don't know what's going to happen in July. We don't even know if we're going to get the Owen this year. And he crashed again. But, and that being said, before his device gives out, I think that's the perfect way to end this another edition of the Interview Impromptu. It's been an absolute pleasure, King, as always. Shout out to Lexkin. Shout out to AEW family. I'm looking very forward to calling this pay-per-view alongside James, JJ. I'm sure I'll analyze it with Jeff. I'm sure there'll be some people on with me Saturday afternoon for Simply Predicting. Again, folks, Simply Predicting for Double or Nothing. You can find it here on my YouTube channel, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So stop on by if you want. Leave a super chat, Casting 18 Studios. Engage in the conversation as we'll be doing this post King or Queen of the Ring. Gonna be a fun week and got double features. So I'm looking forward to it all. I'm looking forward to seeing what's ahead, of course, in all things wrestling when we will reconvene once again, let's call it impromptu, out of nowhere prior to the Forbidden Door, which will give us quite a bit of time to breathe. Until then, this has been ATW View. We are ATW, and we also are proprietors, fans, spectators, passionate followers of all things wrestling, including all elite wrestling. Came been a pleasure. Get some sleep. Get your device under control. Any last words, anything you want to plug, promote, anything else you want to say before we bid them a fine adieu?
Y'all know me. If y'all watch this, y'all know where to follow me on Twitter. Y'all know where to follow me on Instagram, AMT. Do a Roman number 23, number 23. Also, Double or Nothing. Looking forward to it. It's Vegas. But Vegas, get your act together. Please, after what happened last year, I do not want to repeat.
Yeah, you and me both, bruv. And that being said, folks, again, we simply wish to encourage you to just your life enjoy wrestling too. For there are no winners, no losers, no betters. Just fans love opinions, this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, and just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling and treasure your families. Truly is as simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Today, review Impromptu. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Hit the bell to know when the next video goes live on demand on the Simple YouTube channel or any of the channels in collaboration with the Gemini multiverse of media. And until next time, I'll see you on the other side where I'll be calling something or someone else will be pissing me off with some sort of music tangent because now they're trying to hype up A's Karaoke Night, June 15th, with every proverbial name drop possible. Don't you get any ideas or tell the family, bro. That being said, folks, on behalf of ATW, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time. And until then, make a positive impact in life and have a good night. For we are ATW. Have a good night, folks.
You just giving me idea for that night.
King, I'm warning you. I've already warned you to media. People go on vacation. Don't waste your money on 80s karaoke. Go listen to it on Spotify. This man doesn't sing, he does karaoke. And that doesn't matter here. All right, seriously. Bye, folks.
Good night, folks.